Just staring into nothing.
So I gave you a I guess not an update, but I gave you the like what was going on with me in Lowe's last week.
Oh yeah, with the screen door.
Yeah, so hold on, let me give you an update. So for those of you who didn't listen to last week's, I have been trying to get a storm door installed on my house because I had the front door, I had a new front door installed, and they had to take off the old storm door, which was all broken and shit anyway. But I wanted to put a new one on. So now the new door is installed. It's great. Another company. But they said the cheapest way to get a storm door installed and not doing it yourself is by going through Lowe's. So I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. I did it at my last house. I'll do that again. So I go to Lowe's. I go to the desk where the storm doors are, and it says on there that no one was there. So they said at the desk, you can go online and make an appointment for someone to come out and measure. So I did. This guy, Michael Wood, comes out to my house. He measures. I ain't hear from him for a fucking week. Still haven't heard from him, actually.
And how long's it been?
It's been 2 weeks. It's going on 2.5 weeks. So still haven't heard from him. So finally, after a week of me calling every day and trying to figure out where this guy is and what he's doing, I go into Lowe's myself. And I go to the desk and I say, this guy, he's measured for my storm door. I just want to pay for the storm door so I can leave and have a date on the calendar for this thing to be installed. So they're like, oh, well, he's at the pro desk. Do you know there's a separate thing in Lowe's from like the regular people that work there? There's a pro desk.
Yeah, it's like where the contractors go.
Right. So he was a contractor apparently, and this is different than getting the labor set up actually through a Lowe's employee. You go through the actual contractor. So I'm like, okay,
interesting.
Well, fucking bring me to him. This lady, I'm like, bring me to Michael Wood. I felt so bad for this lady because I went in there like a bat out of hell, and I'm like, well, then bring me to him. Like, I don't like. She's like, oh, that's pro desk. Show me Michael Wood. So I go to the pro, and then they check the schedule, and this other guy's at the computer, and she's like, check to see if Michael Wood's on the schedule, and he goes in, and he goes, yep, he's on the schedule till 6:00. Perfect, he's here. Walk over to the pro desk. One of the pros is there, and she goes, where's Michael Wood? And he goes, oh, he's not here today. She's like, but he's on the schedule, and he goes, yeah, it says he's on the schedule, but he doesn't come in on Mondays. Okay.
What the fuck?
Well, fuck me then. So I'm like, can you help me with the door that he measured for me? And he's like, nope, can't help you with that. Only he can help you with that. I'm like, well, I'm done here. So I talked to the lady that helped me out.
Done.
I went to the lady and I was like, listen, I need a door. Like, I need a door. Can you do it for me? She's like, oh, no. If I do it, then I take away the commission from the pro. I'm like, listen, this guy clearly does not want his commission. I've been trying to contact him all fucking week. Just get me a door. So she canceled the order. She put in the door order for me. And today I scheduled an appointment for them to come put in the fucking door.
Oh, finally. The long national nightmare.
I am victorious. Fuck Lowe's. Fuck
them.
Fuck the pro desk. Oh, it was
what a nightmare.
It's a fucking nightmare. It's so stupid. And nobody, you know what the other thing is too? And I fucking sound like a broken record. But there is a very small percentage of Lowe's employees that actually know where things are in Lowe's.
Oh yeah.
And then, and then and this goes for Home Depot as well. And then an even smaller percentage of that percentage actually can answer a helpful question for you. You need to go in to one of those big box contractor stores or like home DIY stores. You need to know what you're doing already, because nobody is going to be able to help you.
Right. Stick them at the register until they learn one of their sections. At least like know what's in each aisle. You know what I mean? Like, you know, maybe not be able to answer like you said, an intelligent question for you, but okay, I'm looking for this. Here it is. Oh, do you know how to do this? What do I need for that? You know, I'm sorry. Let me point you in the direction of one of our pros.
Yeah, right. So I feel like I got a victory at Lowe's.
Yep.
Which I don't get many, but I got a victory today or yesterday.
Well done.
Yesterday. Yeah. So I feel good.
Not going to let those sons of bitches beat you.
Oh, no. I mean, they almost did. I can't believe this guy, Michael Woods, still has not gotten back to me.
What's nothing to do with you? It doesn't feel like making money.
And so I checked. I'm like, do they have the right phone number on file for me? And they said yes. They read it back to me. I'm like, yes, that is my phone number. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. So anyway, got another Felcor Construction. Shout out to you. They're the ones who are doing it. And I went on the Lowe's little receipt thing, the little website, and I gave, I believe her name was Kathy. I gave her a very good rating.
glowing.
Had to, because she was the only one that helped me. She helped me.
The only
out.
one that gave a damn.
She walked me over to where Michael Wood should have been, and he wasn't there. So anyway,
I've got a similar, like a quick one for you. So I've been trying to like compile pricing for fences at my house.
Oh.
And I've had a couple guys come by.
Would you hit the lottery?
And
You're putting in a fence? It's fucking insane.
No, it is insane.
Insanity.
So I just want to see what I'm getting myself into. The two prices I got were wildly different. So I want to get a third and a fourth price, or a couple more prices. And so Jen's dad, he said, "Oh, this guy came to my house. He did a fence for me, and he did a great job. And he the way he does it is, you use his name to buy the material at contractor price,
right.
And he'll go pick it up and install it." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that sounds good." And Bob is the type of guy that he always looks for a good deal. Mm-hmm. And if he's recommending it, that it was probably a good deal. And I've asked, "Oh, Bob, what's this guy's name? What's his number?" "Oh, I gave him your number. He's gonna call you." That was like 2 weeks ago, right? And the guy hasn't called me. And we keep, bringing it up to him. Oh, and her dad's like, "Oh, he hasn't called. Weird." And so the other day, I was just like in a hell of a mood, and I decided to text him. And I said, "Hey, Bob, I talked to the fence guy," and he texted me back. He goes, "Oh, what did he say?" And I texted him and I said, "Just kidding. He didn't call me." He must have been like, "What the fuck? What's happening?"
I'm just kidding. He never got back to me.
But he actually did. He actually did text me the other day, and he's gonna come tomorrow. So it's pretty funny.
I have 100 feet of fence I want done in my backyard. It's 100 feet of straight fence, no gates,
nothing fancy.
I just want a wooden picket fence, a 5 foot, whatever the normal, right? 5 feet, 6 feet, whatever the normal thing is.
I think it's 5 feet is like the legal height now.
So that's all I want, and the prices I'm getting back are astronomical. I've never put in a fence before. This is crazy.
And that's crazy too, because where they really jack you up is on the gates. You know what I mean? Or like, doing wood or vinyl or something. But it sounds like you just want regular 5 foot chain link.
I think I'm gonna end up doing it myself, honestly.
Doing it
myself. I mean, not
maybe
chain link, but I'll
maybe we'll rent ourselves an auger, and like one day we'll do your house, and then the other day we'll do my house.
I'm gonna need an auger, so maybe we'll do that.
Get a group rate.
Welcome to the Average Nobody's podcast for March 22nd, 2021. It is just the two of us today. Just Adam.
Just the two of us.
Adam and Matt. Just the two of us. Ryan had some good news. We'll let him tell the story when he's back, but the reason why he is out is because he is on paternity leave because the baby has arrived.
Right.
Very, very awesome. He'll be back soon. Hopefully he'll check in with us in the coming weeks. So we can get back to actually keeping track of celebrity birthdays. This is going to be another week where I basically just read the riddles to Adam. It's my week, so we'll do that.
I try to figure it out. Just so everyone knows, Ryan's taking advantage of the Average Nobody's very generous paternity package.
Very generous.
So,
hey, you know what?
Open-ended time.
His pay doesn't
and his
change.
Salary doesn't change. Exactly.
His salary doesn't change, and he can leave for as long as he wants.
Exactly. Job security.
Job security. His job will be here when he gets back. Although I did hear from Dave D. Dave D might want to join us one of these weeks.
Oh boy, I really need to buckle in for that one.
Buckle in. Dave D's back. You can find us on averagenobodies.com. Podcast services, Apple, Spotify, search Average Nobodies, and also youtube.com/theaveragenobodies, where you can find some of our back catalog of videos that we've made over the years, including this podcast. Most weeks we have a video version of it, but also Drinking with Class, which all three of us were involved with, which was a good time. That's a little throwback from like the early 20-teens. So here we are. Let's get into celebrity birthdays. We'll knock that out, and then the big topic for today, obviously, we're talking about the Snyder Cut. It has arrived. We won't say how we felt about it yet. You'll have to wait. You'll have to wait until after celebrity birthdays. All right, here we go. I don't have the sound effects, but if I have time, I'll put it in here when I edit it. Okay, here we are. Adam, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. From Alabama to Harvard Law, she has made quite the Hollywood career for herself. While she might get a lot of blonde jokes thrown her way, it doesn't change the fact that today is legally her birthday.
That is Reese Witherspoon.
That is correct. Reese Witherspoon. How old is Reese Witherspoon today?
Sweet Reese. Honestly, man, I have no idea. She's got I guess she has I'm pretty sure she has a teenage daughter, but that doesn't really mean shit.
Yeah, and honestly, her age surprised me. When I actually thought about it, it shouldn't have, but it did because I always thought she was like a grown adult my entire life, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna guess 46.
Ooh, she's 45 today, sir.
Fuck.
That's one off. That's very good. That's very good. Okay, next. Let's see what we got here. Whether on the bridge or in the hot seat, this Hollywood leading man can't escape cling on fans.
Oh, Star Trek.
This is correct. That's not really a great pun either. I need to throw it in there somehow.
I'm gonna guess what's his face? William Shatner.
That is correct. William Shatner. How old is the Shat today?
I was between him and Sir Patrick Stewart and Leonard Nimoy. That's who I was between.
Yeah, you're going with the big man. The big man.
I've actually got an autographed headshot of him from a Comic-Con box that Jen got me.
It's just his head. It's just signed. It doesn't say
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
He's old as fuck.
I can confirm he is old.
I'm gonna say 82.
Ooh, William Shatner is 90 years old. So we both, yes.
Holy shit.
Your face on that one. He is exactly 90 years old today. Here's the funny thing. We both did the same thing with Michael Caine last week. We guessed low 80s when really he was, I guessed low 80s and he was 88 and you guessed low 80s and he's actually 90. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
Shatner,
good for him, Bill.
Old. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? Okay, next one. Here's where we start to go off the cliff a little bit. Daughter of a mysterious French woman, this dame got her start in the middle and ended with her dad watching her die.
Oh, fuck. Alex from Lost.
That is correct. Do you know the actress's name? I would be very surprised.
No, I don't.
Tanya Raymond is her name, and she apparently was in Malcolm in the Middle as well.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, there you go. Okay, here's the last. Oh, we got two more.
Wait, I gotta guess her age.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you do. Well, how old is she?
$39.
Tanya Raymond is 33 years old.
Ooh.
Yep.
Damn, just a year older than us.
Yep. Okay. Here we go. This Full Metal badass has been recently spotted in the Upside Down.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck it.
Fuck.
Do you know who?
I know who the actor is. He's a character. He's in The Dark Knight Rises too. He's fuck. I don't know. Thomas something. I think his name's Thomas.
His name is Matthew Modine, and he is
Nope,
from
not
Full Metal Jacket, and he is also in Stranger Things.
Fuck yeah, he's in a bunch of stuff.
How old is Matthew Modine? He's got a luscious head of white hair.
Ooh, Matthew Modine, 63.
Oh shit, he is 62. One off again.
Oh come on.
One off again. Okay, and this last one I had trouble with the clue, even though he's probably one of the most famous guys on this list. One half of Peel, this substitute teacher has trouble with classroom names?
Oh, Keegan Michael Key.
There you go. How old is Keegan Michael Key today?
54.
He is 50 years old. I would have never guessed in the 50s. Never.
Damn.
I would have never guessed.
He's hilarious. Like, that show is so funny.
He is.
You know, all those, like, sketch comedy shows that, like, you know, a stand-up comedian gets hot, right? And then Comedy Central just throws a show at them.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, the GOAT, the best one is Chappelle's Show. But,
yes.
The Key and Peele is probably my number 2, with the Kroll Show a close number 3.
You know what? I'm going to equate Key and Peele to this thing I used to always say about wrestlers. Tag teams. The best tag teams are the tag teams that are tag teams, not just the two people that Vince McMahon started throwing together in 2012.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? And like,
yep.
The Key and Peele were like a duo outside of that. And when they got their sketch show, it was so funny because they were
a true duo. They're great.
So, yeah, Keegan Michael Key, happy 50th.
Hey, I did pretty good today.
You did pretty good. 2, just 1 off.
I know. Damn.
Very good. 1 off. All right, let's do what we're watching, and then we'll get into the Zack Synder Justice League. I'll go quick.
Okay.
Trains. Nothing I watched is new. Everything I've watched this week is stuff I've watched again. I've watched. This is my multiple times seeing it. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles holds up. It's so funny. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
Okay, so Steve Martin's not my. He's not like, I don't constantly go back to the wealth in his comedy movies.
Right.
He is great. I mean, don't get me wrong, but John Candy is my guy. John Candy is so funny in all his movies, and I think this is his best. He reminds me of the character he plays in Home Alone, the Polka King.
Okay. Yep.
Very similar type of very jovial, like happy, like guy, which he plays in a lot of his movies, I guess. But
so is he? This is a Thanksgiving movie, right?
Correct. Thanksgiving.
Okay, I always mean to watch it around Thanksgiving, but I, for whatever reason, don't.
It's great. I mean, it's about Steve Martin trying to get home for Thanksgiving, and it's like this it's one of those things where like they get on the plane, but then they have to get off the plane. They get a car, they get a bus, and then the bus breaks down, and they end up having to be with each other the whole time. They don't know each other at all. They're strangers. Very, very good. Very heartwarming as well. Like a Thanksgiving movie should.
Is that on Netflix?
It is on Netflix, yes.
Okay. I'll have to add it to my list.
1080p quality.
Ooh.
Next movie I watched, I'm continuing my Al Pacino kick. I watched I watched Scarface, man. That fucking movie, man.
It's so good. That pelican thing you sent me is funny.
Yeah. It's good, man, but I don't think that it got, and I remember when we were in high school, for some reason, or like when we were in high school and like still in this world today, there's like this weird thing with Tony Montana, like branded items. Like when we used to go to the flea market down in Providence, there would be Tony Montana shit everywhere. Towels,
everywhere.
T-shirts, cologne. It was Tony Montana shit. And half the time, like this person who was a Cuban, he was Cuban, Tony Montana.
Right.
Half the time they would try and brand him with like Italian flags and shit.
Yeah.
And people either didn't realize or didn't know, and they would be selling like Italian flag, like Francesco can attest to this, like Italian flag T-shirts with Tony Montana on them. That doesn't make any sense. Right,
like the cover of Scarface, the Scarface DVD, but like instead of black, white, and red,
yes,
it's green, white, and red.
Correct. So like it's very weird merchandising for Scarface. So I grew up we both grew up with that kind of merchandising for it. So it is a very good movie, but
it's because of MTV Cribs.
It just totally, probably. It just totally, and also like the "Say Hello to My Little Friend" is like probably the most overplayed, like outside of like "I'm Your Father," like line from any movie. So there's that, but it's very good. Brian De Palma, fantastic. Al Pacino, fantastic. I also watched Point Break.
I could watch that movie every day.
And so we talked about this before, but how much of a miss is it not they didn't do a Point Break 2?
Oh my god, a monster miss.
The biggest miss of all misses, man. Bodhi could have easily have been still alive.
We could have had a Point Break could have been the Fast and the Furious.
Dude, it
could have been the jumping off point.
That's so perfect. It is, and if you look back and watch, if you've ever seen Point Break, you know that the storyline and the characters are very similar to the original Fast and Furious movie before Fast and Furious. Like, eerily similar. Like, if you put that into the plagiarism machine, like, they might come up with a 90% match. I mean, it's this crew that, you know, it's it. I mean, it's it. If you've never seen Point Break, watch it. I can't recommend it enough. It's the fucking greatest. Also, I told Lindy that our future son is Bodhi.
Oh, beautiful. What a beautiful name.
What a beautiful name. Bodhi. Point Break is great. All right, and before we talk about Zack Synder Justice League, what have you been watching?
So I only really watched one thing this week. I watched this show called The Terror Infamy. I might have mentioned it last time we did this. The Terror is a book by Dan Simmons. It's a historical event with a sort of supernatural twist to it. And the Terror, I really enjoyed season 1, and season 1 is based off of this book. Season 2 just takes the name and sort of the historical event coupled with a supernatural twist. And I really enjoyed it. It's a really slow burn show. Like I said, in the first season, it's 2 British ships trapped in the Arctic Circle. And the crews on the ships are starving. They're getting poisoned, and something's also taking the crew members, haunting them.
Yeah.
In season 2, it's set in the 1940s in California. And in episode 1, it's a mostly Japanese cast. And it's all centered around all these Japanese families living on a small island in California. And in episode 1 is Pearl Harbor. So you see them all get taken into these camps, and throughout the whole season they're getting moved around. They're their patriotism is being questioned, even though they've been living there for generations now. These families have been, the mothers and fathers of some of the characters were children when they came to America. And now they've had children in America, you know what I mean? So, but then also there is it's a yurei, and it means ghost in Japanese. I think it means ghost. And it's haunting this one person in particular. And it's a really interesting story. And I really liked it. I'm super into that, the historical event with a supernatural twist like that. I was actually, before we started working from home, I was listening to a book on Audible about the I think it was the based off of the Donner Party, the group of settlers that traveled out west that became cannibals. Same deal. They went out there, but the first whatever hour or so I listened to, it was they weren't eating each other; they were being taken. So it was really interesting to start, but I just never got around to finishing it.
Very cool.
You can definitely watch one season without the other. Definitely.
I started listening to this podcast called Supernatural with Ashley Flowers, and it's basically it's nonfiction. So it's things that really happened and the supernatural aspects of them, and shit that is unexplainable. And it's a very good podcast. But anyway, it reminded me of that. A little different, but.
Oh, that sounds cool.
It reminded me of that, mixing the supernatural with the real. I want to add one more thing. I watched The Last Blockbuster, which is a documentary on Netflix.
Oh, I saw that the other day.
Which is ironic. It was really good. It was very low budget. It follows the last Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon. And it's just a story about this family. It's family run. It used to be a Pacific Video. And then when Blockbuster was buying up every fucking video store in the country and turning it into a Blockbuster, they just turned themselves into Blockbuster. And then when Dish Network bought Blockbuster, and they still use their Dish's streaming service for movies and stuff. When you rent movies from Dish, it's Blockbuster. But there's no more stores except for this one. So every year they have to sign a 1-year contract with Dish, and it like kind of revolves around them waiting for the call to see if Dish is going to renew their license again to see if they can use the Blockbuster name, because it's become like this big tourist attraction. I think if they ever did close, if they ever did like not let this Blockbuster use the name, I think they would just change it to something else, and I don't think, or like change it to something similar and keep the logo. And like, I don't think Dish is gonna do anything to this last, you know what I mean, this last Blockbuster. But it's a very cool story about this woman who like keeps it afloat. Like, she's been buying up old computers from other Blockbusters when they close, so they can keep like the old fucking POS system running.
That's cool.
And shit like that. That's smart. It's very cool. And like Doug Benson's in it, and a few other celebrities that worked at Blockbuster when they were kids. Very, very cool. It's a very cool idea. Kevin Smith is in it because he talks about him, like how, you know, his,
of course, you know, he's always in stuff like that.
Yeah, and like his origin starts, you know, he was a clerk at a gas station, but also he worked at a video store, a little video store, which is told by the character Randall in the original Clerks, how he works the RST video store right next door to the little mini mart.
Right.
Shop. So I thought that was very cool. All right, Adam.
All right, let's do it.
It's been a long time. It's
been a long time coming.
Before we talk about this, let's talk about how we originally saw the theatrical version of Justice League. I vividly remember it because
I do too.
It was my first and only 4D movie that I've ever saw.
Right. So me, you, and our friend Matt Schwartz, we went up to Revere and we went to Hooters for dinner, which is always a good time.
Always a good time. And
then we went to go see Justice League at a 4D theater up in Revere, Showcase Cinema. It was the first time I had ever gone to one of those two for like a movie, you know, not like a Six Flags or Disney or something like that.
Right.
And so I remember just being happy. First of all, I'll say this. I remember like convincing myself that it was good.
I remember.
But it was just because I was so happy to like see the Justice League together on screen.
That's what it was. I wasn't convincing myself. I just remember being so floored at there being a Justice League movie.
Right.
Another movie this was the second movie we were getting with Batman, with Ben Affleck as Batman, which obviously, you know, spawned us creating the Ben Affleck fan club.
Yes.
But also because he's the best on-screen Batman there is.
Also, we were getting a movie with Wonder, like another movie with Wonder Woman. We were getting all these new characters that we were so psyched to see.
Super excited about Flat. Yep, all that. And then I think that after I'll speak for myself, but after we saw it, I think like a few weeks went by, and a few months went by, and we kind of realized that like this was not really the experience that we were hoping.
Right.
And then that kind of
it should have been so much more.
So much more. We were so excited to watch another one of Zack Snyder's visions come to fruition, and it didn't happen that way. What had happened was Zack Snyder was removed from the project. Well, not removed, but he stepped away from the project due to a tragedy in his family, and Joss Whedon took over and, you know, did a whole shitload of reshoots.
Yep, rewrites and reshot most of the movie.
Totally fucked what was on paper for Zack Snyder's vision. Totally different. So, you know, it comes out, it bombs.
I mean, if you think about it like this, he had 4 hours of footage to use, but he chose to rewrite it and refilm everything.
Yeah.
Everything that we saw this week, he had that.
I think this was an opportunity, and this is like totally me just hypothesizing. I think that was an opportunity for the studio to be like, all right, finally, we'll get someone in here that'll do it our way. Like,
right.
And like, we'll do
dance
it the way
for me, puppets.
Right. And so Joss Whedon did that because he did that. And I think that Joss Whedon also had an issue with that at Disney, which was a weird thing. On Marvel, when he did the Avengers, he thought it was just, he didn't want to go back to that because it was so corporately controlled. But I think that's what happened with Justice League as well. So anyway, we wait and we wait and we wait. And then last year, I don't even remember, it was like Memorial Day last year. Through like an insane, you know, series of ups and downs, like, oh, it doesn't exist. We want the Snyder Cut. It's never going to happen. This and that. And after years. Yeah, the only constant is the groundswell of fan support through the whole thing. Snyder Cut. They want it.
Never gave up. Never. And so it came out on the 18th. A great day in history. And so I've watched it 1.5 times. I watched it all the way straight through on the 18th. And then I watched today, actually, I watched basically the last hour and a half. 2 hours maybe, I'd say. And I got to tell you, I fucking loved it. Yeah. I loved it. If to me, like, yeah, it's a similar story with the mother boxes and like some checkpoints along the way, but how you get from A to B is very different. It's so much more well thought out. It's you build, the characters build more relationships. You get so much more backstory on them, and you need that. That's something you didn't get in what Joss Whedon had. They just throw them all together. Yeah. They became a team in this one.
Yeah.
And I like, to people bitching about the runtime of it, I can sit on the couch right now and watch 4 hours of a TV show. I can watch 4 episodes of Boardwalk Empire right fucking now if I want to. Anything. And like, people decide to get on their high horse about, a 4-hour movie.
Yeah.
There's very clear stopping points. Just hit pause and walk away. That's it.
That's what I didn't understand the gripe with it being 4 hours. You're not sitting in a theater and seeing it. Like, this is not.
You're at home.
You're at home watching it. That's why I didn't understand. Like, it's 4 hours. Okay, but
why does it have to be 4 hours? It doesn't, but it can be, because you have the advantage of watching at home.
Right. So I didn't quite understand the like, I know, and some people were just saying, it's 4 hours, and some people were saying it flew by, others were saying it dragged, and those people that were complaining it was 4 hours and said it dragged. I wonder why. First of all, I didn't feel a drag at all.
Me neither.
I kind of align more with the reviews that people are saying that, like, it was the quickest 4-hour movie they had ever seen, which I fall into
the last hour and a half that I watched today flew by.
Yeah.
Flew by. I turned it on when the League goes to the Batcave. That's when I hit play. Yeah. And it flew by.
Way more Batcave, this one, which I'm fucking. That was awesome. Way more Batcave.
It was.
So anyway, to go back to the length, the length didn't bother me at all. And for the people that were complaining that they extended this movie to 4 hours and then the story is the same, you had the wrong expectations going to this movie. I'm not backtracking.
Yes.
I'm not backtracking and saying that it's different now that it's out and we see what it is. We have the people who wanted the Snyder Cut have always wanted the Snyder Cut because the movie, like you said, had different pacing. It told a different background. It told different character stories. It developed the characters that we haven't seen yet. Remember, we got a Batman v Superman movie. We didn't even get a full Batman movie. It's mostly just. It's Batman and Superman shared movie. Superman got his own movie. Wonder Woman got their own movie. And then Aquaman got his own movie after Justice League.
Wasn't Wonder Woman after Justice League too? Or was it before?
I thought it was the
No, I think it was before. I'm sorry. I think it was before.
Was it 2016? I'm going to look it up right now, so I'm not wrong.
But yeah, those characters had the benefits of having, being in other movies, but then you've got Flash.
2017. Was Wonder Woman. When did Justice League come out? 2017, right?
Yeah. So you've got Flash, Cyborg, and Aquaman, who, like, to the layperson, the audience doesn't know much about. But in Zack Snyder's vision, like, that 4-hour block gave him time to tell you a little bit more about Barry, or to tell you more about Cyborg. Cyborg's story is a great story.
Yeah.
And then you get, I think you get I would say a little bit more of Aquaman, and that helps by having his 1 or 2 scenes with Willem Dafoe as Vulko, sort of his mentor. So you get those pieces that you don't get in the theatrical cut.
Yeah, absolutely. So I thought that like made it for a totally different experience. The movie felt totally, even though it's the same outcome for the most part. It feels like a totally different movie. It has a totally different tone to it.
Yes.
Everything. Like it is a different movie. And I was actually like, I knew that he was doing some reshoots and that he was using he didn't use any of Joss's footage.
None of it.
Only his own, which equated out to a 4-hour movie with the reshoots. I was
Yep.
actually blown away at how much stuff I saw that I hadn't seen.
Yes.
Actually, like totally blown away.
I would put honestly somewhere between like 85-90% of the Zack Snyder's Justice League was new footage.
And also, like, I will give criticism where criticism is due. There's very few scenes where I notice some CGI shoehorning where they couldn't really do a reshoot in that thing. One of the ones that pops out is right at the beginning when Lex Luthor is in the ship and he's in the water and he's in his trench coat.
Yep.
It is clearly just him CGI'd into the water, and it's very obviously clearly he's not like that wasn't one of the reshoot scenes, which is too bad,
right?
Because it's right off the rip. But other than that, there was very few scenes where they definitely had to shoehorn this in and do some CGI magic to make this happen. I'm sure it was done other places, but that was one of the only ones that like really jumped out, and it stood out to me.
So I didn't notice it, but Jen said she noticed some wonkiness in the history lesson battle scene. I didn't notice it, so I want to go back and look at it. And she said it was more of like, when the two armies were coming together. So I want to go back and check that, but just so we can like stay organized, because I know you and I can talk about this all night.
Yes, please.
I want to talk about 3 parts of the movie where I noticed a massive difference, and then I want to talk about the setups. The setups and how there's no plan going forward, unfortunately.
Yes.
Or so they say. So the first part I want to talk about is when Steppenwolf comes to Earth and tries to get the first mother box from the Amazons. The Amazons are so much more badass in this version of Justice League. It makes sense that they have the mother box in this temple surrounded by these warriors, because they're ready to sacrifice themselves and put that thing in the ocean with whatever attacks it. That made so much more sense rather than the game of keep away that Joss Whedon had them play.
Yeah, which was,
so
yes, right.
They still had the game of keep away, but it was because the plan failed.
Yes,
that's why.
That scene with the Amazonians on their way out smashing the wooden beams to seal the doors, and then the last 2 hold it for
those are some muscular women holding those.
They're holding the door up for what's her
for
name?
The Queen.
The Queen, and then
Connie Nielsen, baby.
They don't try and get themselves out. They shut the door and lock themselves in. Incredible.
Yeah.
That was so fucking cool. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yep, they knew what they signed up for.
Yeah. So you're right. That was super badass. Also, a little thing that I noticed during this scene, and I don't know if you caught it as well, or if I already told you about this, but Zack Snyder did a little nod to 300. Did you notice this?
No, I don't think I did.
So I don't think this is an actual nod to 300, but I think there's something there. It hasn't been said, but I noticed it when Steppenwolf gets shot with the arrows all over his body, and he does the flex, and they all break off.
Yep.
It reminded me of when Leonidas has his shield full with arrows and he takes his sword and just fucking, right? Isn't that that's so?
I can see that. I'm on board. Listen, sold.
It's 300. It's Zack Snyder. It has to be some relation, not relation there, but
yeah.
There has to be some influence there. So I thought that was badass. Also, Steppenwolf in this just fucking looks way more badass.
He looks so badass, and again, Steppenwolf has a story. There's a reason why he's not associated with Darkseid anymore. There's a reason why he's on Earth. There's a reason why he wants the mother boxes. You know what I mean?
Punished, right? It sounds like he's been punished. He's serving out a debt for Darkseid, which is something so cool. They could have added, like Joss Whedon could have added into his to add so much depth to the character. Otherwise, like, what the fuck?
And one more, like, final thing about this, for me at least, like, because I know the other parts, we'll talk about Steppenwolf more too, but just from a writing standpoint, I remember very specifically in the theatrical version, like the last thing that Steppenwolf says to Queen Hippolyta, I don't know how to pronounce it.
I got you.
He says, "You will love me," and I remember hearing that in the theater. I was like, "Why? Is he coming after her? Like, does he want her to be his queen?" And nothing ever came of it. Right. And then in this one, before he gets sucked up in the boom tube, he's holding it. And he goes and he looks at at the mother box and he goes, "The age of darkness begins." Something like that. Something way more badass.
Yes. Also, yeah, because they tried to, I think in that theatrical cut, excuse me, they tried to make, oh God, I think I swallowed some dust. They tried to make Steppenwolf like the big bad. They didn't want to like tip their hat to Darkseid at all.
Right.
So basically they were trying to play it off like he's the guy that everybody's going to be bowing to. No. Like, you're going to be kneeling for fucking Darkseid, not for Steppenwolf.
Right. Like, which blows my mind, because it is at this point they wanted to compete with Marvel. Why wouldn't you try to, like, lead towards, Marvel? I mean, DC's big bad. Like, they're Thanos. Right, why wouldn't you try to do that? You have a direct connection here between the two characters.
We'll talk more about that at the end of this.
But, so part two, I want to talk about that. Still, again, similar to the theatrical version, but had so much more depth and so much more meaning to it, was the resurrection of Superman. In Zack Snyder's version, even though it was much longer, there was a lot less wasted time fucking around debating whether or not they should bring Superman back.
Yeah.
Like, you fucking need him. You need him.
Right.
And if there's a chance to bring him back, you need him.
And
you know what? You bring him back, he burns the place down, or like you bring him back, he's a bad guy and he burns the place down, and you bring him back and he's not a bad guy and he helps you, or you don't bring him back at all and you lose.
Yeah. I also think that they kind of added some of that like they were thinking twice about doing it. They added that when they added a little bit more to that when they were in the ship. Yes. I thought that was kind of cool, because then the Flash heard something and thought he meant like go, like let's do it. Mm-hmm. And like at that point you have and that like gives you more suspense. I think that gives you a little more
right, and that like sort of getting cold feet right before they did it.
Right.
And there was a lot more like them getting his casket and breaking into the facility. Like they were building a relationship there. And then they just felt so disjointed in the theatrical version. And then also the for me, the biggest, even bigger than Superman being resurrected, because you knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen in the theatrical version. Yeah. You knew it was going to happen in Zack Snyder's version. And so like this in the theatrical version, this big moment, like you knew it was coming the whole time. But in Zack's version, you know it's coming, and you get something else too. You get Barry going back in time a fraction of a second. Yeah. You get a taste of it. I was like, oh, that's fucking dope. Yeah. And at that point in the movie, I was like, wow, I'm so glad they threw that little piece in there that he can do that.
He adjusts himself so he touches it as soon as the thing hits as soon as the mother box hits the liquid. That was so fucking cool.
Because actually, as we were watching it, Jen it was in the water, and Jen said, didn't he need to touch it as it touched the water?
Yeah, I said the
same. And then we're watching it, and it goes back, and then I like stood up out of my seat.
Man, that was so cool, man. And just like just rewinding quick, no pun intended, not pun, but whatever, fuck intended. Going back a little bit, rewind. The scene where they dig up Clark's body, Superman's body. Like, having Cyborg and Flash be the ones that dig it up is like such a small, stupid thing, but it adds to their like the two of them together as like a little team. Like Cyborg and the Flash have like a little
they work well together.
Buddy, they work well together. So it's like that's awesome. Like, and then it shows later in it when they work together in the final fight scene where Flash has to charge up Cyborg so he can split the mother boxes. It just that little scene adds so much to that payoff.
You know what else went? So after Superman is resurrected and like the Justice League is trying to restrain him at his monument, something that went right up my ass was like the consensus best scene in the theatrical cut of when like Flash is trying to like speed, like go fast behind Superman's back to like catch him while he's not looking. That was Zack's scene.
Yeah.
That wasn't Joss Whedon's scene.
I know.
That went right up my ass.
That was
like
so
he got
cool.
credit for the best scene of the movie, the theatrical movie.
That whole scene with the Justice League at the base of the monument and Superman up there and Henry Cavill like sells the fucking evil Superman so
he does.
well. Like I love him as Superman, and that just like I remember that scene was one of the better scenes from the theatrical version for sure for me.
Yeah. And we come to find out it was mostly Zack.
I mean that scene for the most part, was Zack, for sure.
And so the last part that I want to talk about is obviously the final battle. I mentioned this to you today after I watched it that Batman is low key the MVP of that battle. Like, Superman comes and saves the day, and Flash is the finisher, but Batman breaks through the dome, destroys the dome, and by far takes out the most parademons. By far.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it's not the flashy kill, because he didn't, stop the mother boxes or kill Steppenwolf, but he was an important piece of that battle, even though he's just a man. And he knows that. He knows that he can only do so much.
Yeah.
He can bring the team together. He can have the brains to come up with the plan. Maybe pull a rabbit out of his hat if he needs to. But that's Batman's job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You leave fighting those super beings to Wonder Woman, the metahumans, Wonder Woman and Cyborg and Aquaman and Superman at the end. You know what I mean? You leave that to them and you handle what you can handle.
Great ending with Steppenwolf. I mean, this is spoilers, obviously, for people who haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Steppenwolf getting decapitated and thrown back through the boom tube at Darkseid's feet.
Lands at his feet. Oh, man, that was amazing. That was perfect. Perfect.
Oh, my God. So good. Let's give a second to talk about characters that got expanded roles in Zack Synder Justice League. What?
I just wanted to talk about the Flash.
Okay, go
quick.
For it. Go for it. Yeah. Let's finish that scene.
So, I was talking to a friend of ours earlier today, and he's been known to hate movies, and he was asking me well, what are the rest of them for? Superman, Superman doesn't need any of them. Superman doesn't need any of them to do this, and no, he doesn't. But they lost. They lost that battle to Steppenwolf. The mother boxes synchronized, and Earth was about to be destroyed.
Yes.
Until Barry was able to, Superman, first of all, Superman doesn't have the technology to pull the mother boxes apart. Cyborg does. Superman also might not have the heart to kill Steppenwolf. Wonder Woman does.
Yeah.
And the Flash saves the day because they lose. And what I thought we were just getting a small taste of with him going back in time, we get the full fucking show of him saving the day with his little monologue while he's running through time. And then it you start to see the ground forming beneath his feet.
Yeah.
And then it starts speeding up and catching up, and the Justice League skeletons come back together, and that blew me away.
That was such a fucking cool scene of Cyborg's organic material, his arms and everything coming back, and then his armored parts coming back over him, Superman's hands getting reformed. That was fucking awesome. That was so metal as shit.
And I mentioned this to you, for me, that is probably a top 3-4 comic book movie moment for me. Yeah. You can't beat Avengers Assemble.
Yeah,
can't do it.
Can't number one.
And then 2A and 2B, the Thanos snap and the Iron Man snap.
Yes.
But the Flash going back in time and saving the day, especially when you didn't even get a taste of that in what we already saw.
Yeah.
How can you say they're the same movie when that shit happens?
Right.
In Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Same outcome, but totally different route to get there. Different route.
Right.
Fucking badass, man.
Okay, go. Sorry, let's talk about some character development.
Expanded roles. First of all, we have Martian Manhunter, who shows up at the end, but also shows up trying to get Lois all jazzed up to get back in the fight.
Yep.
That was
You
awesome.
find out he's been General Swanwick since Man of Steel.
Yes. So that was cool. You got that added character. You got a ton more of Jeremy Irons, Alfred.
Oh, who's awesome as Alfred.
Who's so good. The scene where he's like, I love when he's tinkering. Well, first of all, you get the backstory on Batman's new armor and why he can take so much punishment with the armor. Because Alfred is creating it for him, and you also get like the little Alfred when he's teaching Wonder Woman how to make the tea. Step by step, he's like, "Oh no, you know, put the tea in first, and then for the you don't want to burn it. Thought that was great. You have expanded roles for you got a little bit of Jim Gordon. I thought you'd get more.
I thought we'd get more Jim Gordon, but I feel like we got the same amount of Jim Gordon.
He was about the same. What were some other characters that got expanded roles? Oh, Willem Dafoe was the character.
Willem Dafoe, even Mira.
Yes, Mira got especially in the epilogue. I mean,
Mira. Yeah, Mira had an extra scene in part 6, and she was in the epilogue.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was great that they were able to expand on those characters, and of course, Zack Synder had teased Martian Manhunter for a while. The thing that I think everybody thought we were going to get, and we did get it, but not in the way that I think people thought we were going to get, was Green Lantern. A Green Lantern shows up in that flashback scene of the first fight against Darkseid on Earth.
Was awesome.
Was insane how that was left. That was something you could have thrown in the movie, the theatrical cut. You could have just fit it in anywhere.
And it meant so much more that it was Darkseid instead of Steppenwolf.
Yes, so much more. And I just thought it was great. And you have that Green Lantern, who I'm not familiar with, who that species or race of Green Lantern.
Yep.
But, he gets his fucking ass beat by Darkseid, and then the ring takes off and flies up into the sky.
He reaches out for it too.
Yeah. Darkseid does.
And something I wish you got like a line in there. I mean, you would probably get it in Justice League too. Is that the reason Darkseid, Darkseid is this all-powerful being, but he lost. And the reason he lost is because Ares and Zeus were there. You know what I mean?
The Ares and Zeus being there was so badass. They were so fucking awesome.
And you got some of that in the theatrical cut, but it just wasn't it just was not as epic because it wasn't against the big bad.
No, right. It wasn't against Darkseid. Was that? I'm trying to think now. In the theatrical version, was there a version of that?
Yeah, there was.
So, but it didn't have the Green Lantern, obviously.
It did.
But not like that, did it?
I don't think you saw the Green Lantern. You might have even seen the Green Lantern die.
Really?
You might have even seen it. I think so, yeah.
I am not remembering that at all.
Yeah, I think you do see it.
Was Zeus and shit in there too?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I don't think Ares was in it, but definitely Zeus was in it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not remembering that scene at all from the first one. I guess I just haven't. That's odd to me. I haven't. I'm picturing it like it's a new scene here. Fuck, I didn't even realize that. But yeah, it being against Darkseid, that's what changed, right? I mean, that's what the big change was.
Right.
Steppenwolf. Here's my question. I want you to see if you can clear this up for me. The Steppenwolf in this one tells Desaad that, he's found the anti-life equation. It's on Earth. It's on Earth. But didn't they know that the first time around?
I don't think so.
So was that little like when Darkseid landed and it created that pattern on the ground? That's not the anti-life equation? That's just something that they put down when they get there? Like that's just like their little like.
Yeah, I think that's just like their here we are.
Right,
symbol.
That's what confused me because I thought that was the thing they were looking for. Like that, I thought that was in the Earth's crust or whatever.
So I think Darkseid was there like on his campaign of conquering however many he said hundreds of thousands of planets.
Yeah, he's 50,000 more before he's free of Darkseid.
Yeah, and so yeah, but that like lead up, like you see, Steppenwolf gets his glimmer of redemption with Darkseid by finding out the anti-life equation is there. Anti-life equation will give Darkseid the power to control the multiverse, control everything. All of existence will be his.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so badass. That was such a badass way to set up their big bad.
Yeah.
And I like, just to wrap up here, I want to talk about, the epilogue and some of the things set up by this movie. Like, after seeing this movie, yeah, of course you want to see, we got Aquaman, but of course you want to see the Flash in their own movie. Of course you want to see, the solo Batman movie where he's going head to head with Deathstroke, and that's set up with the scene with Lex Luthor. I'd be interested in seeing a Cyborg movie after this. But Cyborg could also like sort of function, like, to me, I think he could probably function as the Hulk. You know what I mean? Like an awesome, team member, but maybe not interesting enough for his own movie, especially now because like it's just him. His family is gone. Like he's got, nothing else.
Yeah.
What else? And not to mention like the, Darkseid says after after they kill Steppenwolf, that sort of window closes and he tells Desaad they'll stop at nothing to get Anti-Life and ready the Armada. How do you not get excited about seeing that?
We'll use the old ways. It was so fucking awesome. It was so awesome.
Sorry. When we were talking about Zeus and Ares and the gods that stopped him last time, I thought it would have been useful to have a line in there about how the old gods are dead. Yes. You know what I mean? And Darkseid is a new god.
So I'm just watching this while you're telling me. I'm watching the scene from the theatrical cut. So it's not the same, but it is very similar. The Green Lantern is a lot quicker. Zeus is a lot quicker. Ares is there, but just for like a split second.
Okay.
That's wild to me. And also they don't show, I guess who would be the king from Atlantis?
Oh, Atlan.
Atlan is not really shown there.
Okay.
They show him putting down the mother box at the end, like when he takes it back to Atlantis. But you don't really get it. And then I thought it was funny. I was talking with some friends I was watching it with. I thought it was funny that they're like, oh yeah, it's like the Amazons take the mother box and they put it in this fortress. And it's guarded by things all the time, all 24/7. It's guarded. And then the Atlanteans take it down and they put it in this huge underwater temple where it's guarded. And then the humans are just like,
throw it buried in the ground,
buried in the woods, like, and they're not even deep, like 5 feet down.
Hey, that one stayed the safest, the longest.
That is true.
We were laughing about that one too.
Just thought that was funny. It's like, I guess we'll just throw it in the ground. So, do you want to talk about the epilogue?
Yeah, I want to talk epilogue / the Cyborg nightmare scene that we get. So in the Cyborg nightmare scene, similar to in Batman vs Superman, when Bruce Wayne has, the premonition of the Earth destroyed, and he's at war, like he's fighting off, a ton of parademons, and he comes face to face with Superman. Cyborg has one of those this time around, and he sees Wonder Woman dead. He sees Aquaman dead. He sees the Earth destroyed. He sees Superman with a fucking crispy Lois Lane in his arms.
Dude,
and
Dark's. That's the scene we had like fantasized over since the other one came out. Like, imagine when that came out, you're talking about how Lois was killed in the Batcave. That fucking is crazy.
And Darkseid comes and puts his hand on his shoulder. Like Superman joining Darkseid, and the Hall of Justice is destroyed. The heroes are laid out on the ground, and Superman is holding the cowl in his hand. Like, that was scary.
That was scary. That was very scary. I like, what a setup too. Like, what a setup.
Right. It just like it more than doubled down on the Batman nightmare scene. So and then in the epilogue, you get a bigger chunk of it. So Batman has like the squad of all squads. So it's Batman, Deathstroke, Mira, Flash, Cyborg, and the Joker. What a fucking team.
Squad and a half, man. Like, what a fucking awesome. And also, you have to remember, too, this is after Deathstroke is with Batman. This is after Deathstroke learns Batman's name from Lex Luthor.
Right, and you're led to believe he's going after Batman at that point.
Obviously, things have gotten so dire that he has teamed up with the Joker and Deathstroke.
Yes, and his interaction with the Joker was like nothing that we've ever seen before, because they've never gotten to that point before where the Earth is destroyed and they need each other. And, what Joker says to Batman, like, don't send a boy wonder to do a man's job, like that cuts deep. And then Batman just says how, I will fucking kill you. And Harley, like, when Harley died in my arms, she wanted me to do it slow. Like, I noticed it when I watched it today. Joker, probably for the first time, is actually afraid of Batman for a split second. He's actually afraid of him. Yeah. And then he sort of snaps back. But the two of them are at a point now where, like, the Joker is just completely detached from reality, because he's not against Batman anymore, because they need each other, and there's no more crime to do because the Earth is destroyed. So he just says whatever the fuck he wants, and he's going to do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah. I thought that was a really cool scene, and Deathstroke being like, "Oh man, Joker, like you're stepping on you're taking a long walk off a short pier here, talking to Batman like that."
Yeah,
that was cool. Mara was cool in that scene. I think that I don't know if they end up doing the other Aquaman movie. I don't know if she's gonna be in it, right? Isn't there like some controversy about her?
Yeah, I don't know. Her and Johnny Depp are like embroiled in a legal battle, so nobody really knows what's going on with them.
I think you throw Emily Blunt in that role, and I think you're good.
Or Emilia Clarke.
Oh yes, also her. Yeah, right. She would be great.
Yeah. And then I noticed this time. I'm sure I noticed it the first time I saw it, but this time around I noticed too. And right after the Batman Joker Deathstroke interaction wraps up, Superman is on his way, and like everyone's shitting their pants, and he lands, and everybody's like ready for battle, and Joker's just laughing.
Yeah,
he's just laughing.
That was really cool. Sorry, so that little teaser now leads us into a deep dark depression, because now they're saying that this is it. Like basically,
they're saying this is the end of the line. The CEO of Warner Media.
Right. So Warner Media basically came out and be like, enjoy this Justice League movie, because this is it.
Right. Even though it's by far the most successful movie they've made, and hands you 4 other movies on a silver platter.
Right.
That people will be excited for. They're going to keep going with Shazam 2.
It's breaking records around the world for streaming service in places where it's not allowed. It's being downloaded hundreds of thousands of times.
Yep.
And we've heard this before. We've heard this before. We've heard that the Snyder Cut doesn't exist. We've heard that, okay, it does exist, but it's not coming. And then now finally last year during a Superman rewatch with a Man of Steel rewatch with Zack Synder, he announces that he's partnered with HBO Max. Here's what needs to happen. Everybody needs to support HBO Max, because that's the only way that this is going forward. And
yes, I was saying this to Jen when she came home today. If Justice League 2 gets greenlit, it will because it'll be on HBO Max's say. Not because of the fan outpouring, but if HBO Max says, holy fucking shit, look how much money we made off of this.
And that's the fans.
Make another one.
That's the fans.
Right.
And this is going to be...
But they won't... What I'm saying is Warner won't tell HBO to do it because of the fans.
Right. You're right. Yes, correct. Even though there's going to be a huge groundswell again around this. It's already happening. And they won't give up until it happens. Just do it. Here's the other thing. You look at DC right now, the state of the DC movies, total disarray. If you don't have these Justice League movies go forward, total disarray. Because now they have a new Batman in Pattinson, which is fine. I'm excited for that Batman movie. But the Flash movie that's coming, the next Aquaman movie, even to a point, maybe even Shazam, like those movies belong in this little thing that Zack Snyder started.
Right. They need a captain at the helm. The same way Marvel has Kevin Feige, they need Zack Snyder to manage the universe.
I'm even fine with them doing like a abbreviated like they can't, maybe they don't do a whole Ben Affleck Batman movie, but maybe they do like an hour or 2 hour or 2 1 hour specials of like bridging the gap between this Justice League movie and the next one. And then then they come out with another, 6-part Justice League Part 2 coming. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just sucks because there's no roadmap. There's no roadmap right now on DC's schedule that brings us to another Justice League movie.
Right. There's no roadmap on their schedule for success. Like I saw that they're working on a Blue Beetle movie. Who gives a fuck?
Who gives an actual fuck?
You needed 3 Iron Mans, 3 Thors, 3 Captain Americas, 2 Avengers movies, and a Hulk before you got Ant-Man.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Like who the fuck? Like you're diving into these characters that you haven't exhausted us of, besides maybe Batman, because there's been so many Batmans, but never. I fucking love Batman. You haven't exhausted your options yet. There hasn't been a good Superman movie until Man of Steel.
Right.
I mean, really. I mean, whatever. I mean, talk about the originals or whatever. But
Superman Returns stunk.
Superman Returns stunk out loud. That movie
stunk on
fucking
ice.
Sucked.
It was offensive.
Offensive to my senses. So you haven't exhausted these options yet. Wonder Woman just came out with a stinker. Okay? Oh. We need Zack Snyder back for the next one. Need it.
Yep.
Need it back. Need him back for the next Wonder Woman movie. I liked Aquaman. We both like Aquaman.
Yeah.
Aquaman needs to continue the course, but he needs to continue the course with Ray Fisher and Ezra Miller as well. Like they need to somehow be included all together. Like they need to work together now. You can't just write these characters out of the universe with these next movies, or else what's the point? Just cast new people. Stop the movies. Just stop.
The outside of Wonder Woman, like I would say probably the 2 most successful DC movies have been Zack Snyder's Justice League and the Joker movie, both of which Warner Brothers did not really support. They wanted Shazam and Birds of Prey, but like the Joker was nominated for Academy Awards. It won one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And viewer wise, the Snyder cut is far and away the most popular, and it hasn't even been a week.
Someone hit me up on Twitter after I was like explaining how I like am very excited for this to continue, this vision to continue. Mm-hmm. They messaged me and was like, "But isn't there already another Batman? They recasted Batman." And I said, "Yeah, but that's fine. Like I don't care that. That Pattinson movie is a totally different movie. It has something like that Batman experience is something totally different than this old grizzled like Justice League Batman. If they were coming out with 2 origin Batman movies at the same time, like just thinking of if they had done that, like that's something that would be weird. But this is 2 totally separate things, and it doesn't have to be the same Batman. This Batman, like Ben Affleck's Batman, is not Michael Keaton's. Like it's
right. The Pattinson Batman is fighting crime in Gotham. The Affleck Batman is onto world threats.
Sure, right, sure.
End of the world shit.
Yes, and like just our Justine, good friend of the podcast, said, Batman has like DC has, and Batman specifically has some of the best fucking villains that there are. Like like
out of DC and Marvel, the best villains are Batman villains.
They refuse to expand on the few they've done in Batman movies over the last 20 years. Mm-hmm. They refuse to expand on that over 20 years. They could do so much with these villains. I mean, fucking like we just said, like that Cheetah fucking Wonder Woman movie was
so bad.
That was a drop. They dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah,
but they can fix it. HBO Max can fix it. They can restore the Snyderverse. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse.
Stay the course. We've been told no before. We can make it happen.
Here's the other thing, too. Like, these fucking people on Twitter that are hitting me up and being like, all right, like, enough's enough. Like, no more. It's like, who cares? Like, you know what? Fuck you. Look, I'm getting close.
You don't want
you.
more good movies?
You can't see me, but I'm getting close to the camera. Fuck you. Fuck you, because so what did I want this fucking movie to happen? And so what did fucking thousands and millions of other people want it to happen as well? Like, fuck you, you joyless pricks.
Right.
Who want this to fail. Fuck you.
Right.
Fuck you.
Right.
Oh, shit.
Like, oh, what do you like to do? Do you like you like sneakers? No, fuck that. Let's never make any sneakers again.
We had one.
Oh, you're into cars? No, what do you need to buy a new car for?
No. We had one colorway of one sneaker. That's it. Isn't that enough? No. Fuck that. It's just the audacity of these people to be like, why? Like, you're not making the decisions. Warner Brothers is already fucking us enough. Like you don't have to also like. But how is it taking away from you? Don't see it if you don't want to see it. Don't fucking look. Watch it. Don't watch it. I don't know. Adam, you there? You're frozen.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay.
No, I wasn't frozen.
Oh, you were very still.
Yeah.
So all right. We both agree that Justice League was awesome. The Zack Snyder cut.
Yep. And I'm really looking forward to the Justice is Dark, the black and white version. Whenever that comes out, I'll definitely watch it again.
For sure.
So
I was feeling a little bummed out because there's all this, like we were just discussing. There's all this like they're saying it's not going to come. It's not happening. We've heard it before. I'm still slow, like optimistic, but I was a little sad. So last night I watched a Justice League movie, a JLA movie. So I have a lot of these on Netflix. I have all the DC animated movies. You should watch it.
Oh yeah, they're all on HBO Max too.
What the
I
fuck
think
is
most
it
of them are.
Oh, is it really? It was Justice League Doom, and so
Okay.
that follows the comic book storyline, and I forget what the name of the comic book storyline is, but it's the one where Batman has all the contingencies for Justice League.
Yep.
And then they vote to whether they are going to vote Batman out of the Justice League at the end or not because he had these things. And the the Legion of Doom steal his ideas on how to stop all the members of the Justice League, so they're able to try and stop them. It's a very good Justice League movie. It's 110 minutes. It's really cool. Animated.
I'll have to check that out.
Those DC animated those animated DC movies are very good.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that's it for today. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah. No, because if we keep going, I'm only going to get mad.
Yeah.
About the prospect of never seeing more.
It just sucks because I don't even know, we have to think, and I'll just add this quickly. Ben Affleck, I think, is the only iffy one on whether he would come back, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
I think everybody else is back, right? And I guess maybe Cavill as well, Superman.
Yeah, I don't know, because remember, right before this came out, there was that report that J.J. Abrams was developing a new Superman movie.
I'm about done with J.J. Abrams as well. Unless he really wows me on the next thing, he kind of really dropped the ball with the Star Wars movies. Even though I do like them. I'm not hating on them at all, but I think that they could have been better.
Yeah.
And I think that Disney's just too controlling, a little too controlling on those things. Anyway, all right, that's it. Average Nobody's podcast number 114 for March 22nd, 2021. There you go. That's it. All right. Talk to you later.
See ya.